Hey everyone, welcome to the Bruce Williams channel. Let's do a wrist check. Today I'm wearing the Globemaster from Omega. This one I'm borrowing from my friend Eric, and I've got to say I really enjoy the 39mm size. I think it's just so proportional on my wrist, and I'm loving the details. The retro design elements, the pie pan dial, the tungsten fluted bezel. So this is an awesome watch. It will get a full review here pretty soon on the channel. But today I want to talk about a topic that hopefully is helpful for those of you that are shopping pre-owned luxury watches and you want to know how important box and papers are, or should you buy a naked example. So I'm going to share with you guys my opinion, and I'm going to read an email that I got from a viewer that I think is really valid. So this one comes from John, who says, "Hey Bruce, big fan of your channel. I'm looking to purchase my first luxury watch. My current daily is my Seiko King Turtle with the black dial that you've reviewed in the past. I'm looking to move into my first Rolex, a Rolex Explorer 2 16570. Love the 40mm case. I want to know what your thoughts are on box and papers for pre-owned watches. I've narrowed it down to a model that says Swiss made over the older Swiss T25, as it is newer and honestly does look better. I don't think I want to throw up the extra cash for a 3186 movement. Which leaves box and papers. Do you think they're worth the premium? Thanks for the great content, John." Well, John, let me tell you my experience with this model. A few years ago, I traded two watches. I traded a Breitling Avenger 2 GMT, an Omega Seamaster Electric Blue full-size quartz. I traded those two watches to my good friend Mark, and he in return gave me the Rolex Explorer 2, the Polar 16570, and I did not get a set with the box and papers. Mine was naked, and I think it was missing a link as well. So that tells you right off the bat, no, I don't think box and papers are vital when you're shopping for certain luxury watches. It's so easy to go on eBay and buy a period correct box for $100, $200, and then ask a whole lot more in your listing because now you have the original box. So I don't think box and papers are important. What is important when you're looking at luxury pre-owned timepieces is that you trust the seller. You know that this watch that you're considering is original. It's not molested. It's been properly serviced and maintained over its life. There's some little things like service dials, refinishing that people are, they have different opinions on. So whatever those are, you just want to know the history of the watch, how well it's taken care of, how original it is, and how well it's performing. So those are the vital things. I think it's funny when you're conversing with the dealer, say you're trying to actually trade in an Explorer 2, and they're trying to beat you up. They're saying, "Oh, well, this is all beat up. I'm gonna have to refinish it, and it doesn't have all the links, and it doesn't have the box and paper, so I'm only gonna be able to offer you this much." And it's funny because you take that exact same watch, and when they're trying to sell it, it's not a whole lot different from an example that carries box and papers. Sure, it's a little bit less, but it just goes to show that there's not a huge difference between the two. Ultimately, the deciding thing is how good of a condition it is, its service history, and if you're buying it from a trusted dealer. That's obviously that's the most important thing. Now, which version should you buy? Should you buy a tritium version? Should you buy a super luminova version? Should you get the 3186 version? The one that I had the 3180, excuse me, I can't talk. It had the 3186 movement. It had the engraved rehaut, and I really thought it was awesome. And I considered actually going on eBay and spending $150 and getting the correct box, but I didn't end up doing that. Again, it's not super important to have the original box, in my opinion. Now, there is a version that I think is really intriguing, and that is the Transitional Explorer. From in between the time they were doing tritium, the Swiss T25 and the full Swiss made, there was a short period of time where it had super luminova, but on the dial it just said Swiss, which I think is really interesting. There's not a ton of them out there, and honestly, they don't have a huge premium versus the other two. So if you can find a version that says Swiss, I think that's kind of interesting. It's a little bit more unique when it comes to the 16570. But no, the 3185 caliber, it's a great caliber. I don't think the price disparity between the 3186 is warranted, but the 3186 is the nicer movement. I just think it's crazy, the appreciation from a few years ago to what they're selling for now. My example that I traded with Mark, it was selling for around 3,000 for a naked example and maybe 3,500 for box and papers. And you look at the prices now and it's just wild how in a few short years, how much it's appreciated. I think that's kind of crazy. So hopefully this helped answer your question, John. I think it's really valid. Don't be turned off by a very nice example that doesn't have the original box. The important thing is the condition of the watch you're buying. And if it is important to you to put a factory box with it, you can always source that secondarily, if you wish. So thanks for the topic. Guys, if you have a topic or suggestion you would like covered in a video, please reach out. My email is in the description. So thanks for watching today. I'll see you in the next video.